Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness. I am so delighted you're here with me today. Today I wanted to talk about anxiety and increasing anxiety and what are some ways that we can combat this. With everything that is happening in our society, it is no wonder people are more anxious. And I know that that can be a serious issue for a lot of people, and maybe it is for you and you don't even realize it. I will never forget the first time I went to see a counselor and I just started talking about what was happening in my life. And she was like, yeah, you have anxiety. And I was shocked because no one ever at any point in my life had ever said to me before, you have anxiety. It was always something that I knew other people had, but it didn't affect me, right? I didn't have it. But at that moment when she said that, a lot of things started to click into place. I'm an overthinker from way back. I used to do this all the time. And I would ensure that I left in plenty of time because if I was late, even 1 minute late, I would panic. Now, some of you might think, well, how did you not know that was anxiety? Because it's just the way that I was brought up. If you were late to things, like my mom would be like yelling at us, like, hurry up, we have to get there. She is the type of person who, when we were going to go somewhere, we would get to her house and she's already sitting in the car waiting for us and expecting us to be in the car and already annoyed that we weren't there right when she was ready to get in the car and leave. So yeah, I always grew up feeling like I had to walk on eggshells because I had to do what was expected of me. I just thought that's the way it was, right? That's what parents do. I never really associated that with anxiety. And for many children, you have to be good, right? So that your parents will stay happy and you can make them happy. It's that people pleasing that we pick up from a very young age when we know our role in our family. And mine was the peacekeeper, right? I had to make sure everybody got along. It wasn't a role I wanted to have. It's just a role that I took on. But all of those things growing up made me a very anxious person. And something else that does not help is I've been reading so much about menopause and perimenopause and when we're going through these stages. Did you know that anxiety actually increases during menopause? So if you're of that age and you're feeling like, man, my anxiety is just getting worse and worse, there's a reason for that. The hormonal imbalance causes the increase in anxiety, which is just another great side effect of menopause, isn't it? Don't you love it? Another great one that I just also learned was that you can have an increase in cavities from menopause. I did not know that, but I went to the dentist. I haven't had cavities in years. I take care of my teeth. I go every 6 months. I have 3 cavities. I'm like, what? How is that possible? Like, I have not had them in years. And what I read, because I thought, I wonder if this has any connection to perimenopause or menopause. Because it just seems so odd to me that I just all of a sudden had 3 cavities. So I looked it up and it said, yes, actually, that is one of the things that can happen. I don't know, something about menopause causes dry mouth, which can increase the risk of cavities because the salivary glands don't produce enough saliva to wash away bacteria. And also it said the glands are hormone dependent, which leads to changes in the saliva production. So yeah, great. One more thing to add to that list of symptoms that you get. But anxiety can be a big one. And I know that it's frustrating to live with, especially because for many people, that freeze and isolation, that takes over. It's like you just don't want to do anything. You feel like everything's overwhelming, so you just don't do anything. And that can be detrimental because it keeps you from doing things you need to do in life and from being productive, and also just from enjoying your life. So how can you combat anxiety? There are several things that you can do. First of all, acknowledge the fact that you have anxiety and don't beat yourself up for it. Okay, know that oftentimes that's out of our control. Anxiety happens because we were conditioned to be a certain way growing up, and then things trigger that. It happens because of changes in our hormones. Don't beat yourself up because you're feeling anxious. You're normal. That happens to everyone. So what can you do when this starts to happen? First of all, you need to take a deep breath and stop letting those thoughts that are beating you up. You need to stop those thoughts. So you have to take a breath and acknowledge what's running through your head. Okay, what's happening right now? What am I telling myself right now? What keeps running over and over in my head? Stop, inhale deeply and slowly for a few breaths and say to yourself, is this logical? Is this rational? Ask yourself those questions. Most likely it's not. And I know that the thing about anxiety and panic attacks is it also causes your heart rate to race. It increases significantly. And I'll never forget, I would donate plasma for a while there. And we had to have our heart rate taken and get blood work done, all this before you could donate. And one time my heart rate was really high. And it was because I was frustrated because I'd been standing in line for like an hour. And I'm like, I really wanted to do something good by going and donating, but this is frustrating. I have things to do. So I got myself all worked up from having to stand in line for so long. It was just, it looked like people were just moving slowly and whatever. And I'm sometimes impatient. Anyway, by the time I got there, it was really, really high, my heart rate. So they said, go sit down, go, breathe a little bit and then come back. And it still wasn't normal. So they're like, you can't donate today. So I sat there for over an hour for nothing, right? Wasted time, which really ticks me off. Like I hate when I waste my own time. So it made me really upset. And then the next time I wanted to go and donate, I was thinking about what happened the last time and my heart rate started immediately. That overthinking, when you're thinking about, oh, this is what happened. Oh, well, my heart rate's going to go up. It's kind of like self-fulfilling prophecy, right? We're causing that anxiety. We're just perpetuating it with our thoughts. And I know you're like, yeah, that seems like an easy explanation, but truly, a lot of times it's our overthinking that's causing us to panic. So you've got to get control over that. So stop, take a deep breath, inhale and exhale very slowly. Some tell you to do the square breathing, I think, where it is you inhale for 4, exhale for 4. And I think they're talking about the 4 points on the square. But the breathing is really, really important. And it's also important to ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? Like what's bringing this on? Is there something that is going and racing through my brain that's causing me to feel overwhelmed? And if you can identify it, start there. Next, one quick way too is to just stand up. And I think you can do it sitting down too, but hang your head down and let your head hang below your knees for a few seconds and breathe deeply. There's something about doing that resets our nervous system. And just try these things. If it doesn't work for you, that's okay. I'm going to give you several suggestions. Hopefully you'll find something that does work. But that's one of the things that, is always suggested. Have some mantras ready to go to shift your thoughts. Because again, I feel like a lot of times, at least this was the case in my own personal experience, a lot of the times the panic attacks or the anxiety was brought on by my thoughts. I kept thinking, oh, I have to lower my heart rate. Oh, I have to do this. That just made it worse. It didn't help anything. So have some mantras like something maybe, I'm always calm and peaceful. My body is peaceful. I'm at peace. I always feel peaceful. I have inner peace. You want to make it something that, your brain doesn't know that you're not at peace. But if you're telling yourself like, oh, I'm at peace, then the brain starts to say, oh, well, yeah, okay. So maybe that is the truth and not this other thing that I've been telling myself. So have mantras ready to go. Here's a few that, I think would work. You can say to yourself, I inhale peace and exhale worry. I am calm. I can easily handle this. I am safe. I choose calm. Peace begins with me. This too shall pass. I am enough. This is temporary. I am not my thoughts. I love and accept myself. I release fear and welcome peace. I embrace my uniqueness. One day at a time. There is no danger. I embrace calm over anxiety. I trust the journey of life. Peace is within me. So pick the mantras that really work for you. You can go search your own too. What do you need to hear at that moment? What is it that you need to hear? What would make you feel better? Have those mantras ready to go. And when you feel yourself going to that place, stop, take your deep breaths, and then say those mantras over and over to yourself. Distraction is also a great way to work through anxiety because really we're trying to get our brains out of that fight or flight mode, and we're trying to calm down our central nervous system. What happens when we have anxiety is that our amygdala is completely overstimulated, and so it's overactive. And then the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain that says this is not a threat, is underactive. And we have to shift that. You have to shift the chemical makeup of your brain, basically. And you can do that with mindfulness. Find something that makes you laugh. Laughter increases your oxygen levels and helps you with relaxation. So go watch a stand-up comedy special. I always love Jim Gaffigan. I think he's hilarious, and John Mulaney, and they make me laugh. So go try to find some sort of comedy or something that you know is going to make you laugh. Watch The Golden Girls. That always makes me laugh too. Listen to some music. Create a playlist of feel-good music, stuff that you like and that you'll start singing along with, because that's going to help slow your heart rate and it's going to lower your blood pressure. So find the music that you know is going to just bring you some joy. Create a playlist on your phone. You know, I have different playlists. I have a Christmas one. I have a calming playlist. Make a playlist that is going to be filled with music that you know makes you feel better when you hear it. And then immediately when you start to feel that way, put in your headphones, take a few deep breaths, maybe say your mantras and listen to that music. Also, it's important that you are watching what you eat because there are certain foods that also cause anxiety. If you're eating a bunch of crap, you're going to feel bad. Our bodies don't know how to process that food sometimes, and sometimes you can get stored up toxins in your body. Believe it or not, it has an effect on how you feel. But another way to combat that would be to do the lymphatic draining. I don't know if you've ever done that before. There are a lot of people who have YouTube videos or TikTok videos about how to do that. But one that I know is pretty easy, I'll try to describe it to you. If you put your fingers right underneath the bottom of your ear and on your neck, you'll feel that there's kind of like a little lump there, you know. You want to massage that clockwise on each side 10 times. And then with your 4 fingers, you're going to drag your 4 fingers down from that spot, down your neck to your collarbone. And again, do that 10 times on each side. You could do it at the same time on each side. And then once you get to your collarbone, after you've done that 10 times, tap around your collarbone. In that space where if you push down in on your collarbone, right, on the inside of it, you're going to tap there, do some tapping. Because that opens up your lymphatic system and helps to drain the lymphatic system, because sometimes we get built up toxins there that we're not releasing. And so that can also be a part of helping you do that. Another thing to do is to exercise, get out. And I don't mean like you don't have to do the Jane Fonda workout or dating myself there. You don't have to do this intense activity. Just getting out and going for a walk can help release endorphins, which are feel-good transmitters. They're neurotransmitters, and so that will immediately help you start to feel a little bit better. And maybe go for a walk listening to that playlist that you made. That can also help you feel better. And take deep breaths as you're walking. Also, yoga helps with anxiety. You know, a lot of people know that I used to be a person who said, I don't like yoga, but I've been learning to appreciate it and do it more. Meditation is another good way to combat anxiety. I don't personally have a meditation for anxiety, but I know there are a lot of people who do on YouTube. Just do a quick search for that, and you'll find some really good guided meditations for anxiety. Even just doing any kind of meditation is going to help you because it lowers your blood pressure. It also calms the brain, calms the mind, because I really think that a lot of anxiety stimulates from the overthinking, and the overthinking is what causes us to go into like that panic mode. Again, you have to shift your thought process. You have to stop the brain from going down that rabbit hole of thinking about all the things that could happen. That's why those mantras are really important, because they are going to help you shift your thoughts. And that's really what it comes down to, is shifting our thoughts. And so that helps us to be more calm. I know that a lot of people are worried about what's happening in our society, but you're going to be okay, and it's going to be okay. So you just need to tell yourself that, the universe is always working behind the scenes on our behalf. The universe is always protecting us. We need to really lean into the trust and let go of the worry, because the worry isn't doing anything to help you. It's just putting yourself in a mental prison. Worry doesn't fix anything. We think, if I worry to death about this, it'll change. It won't. And actually, the opposite will happen. You're calling more of that in by worrying about it. Stop focusing on what might happen and the bad things that could happen. And instead, I always say to myself, I'm open to receiving the miracles that the universe wants to bring me. My life just keeps getting better and better. I tell myself that over and over again, and it really, really does shift your attitude. I mean, I've had really tough days this week. Life overall has been good. But one morning I woke up and Nala had diarrhea all over the house, and I had to clean it up before work. And then I was like, I'm going to be late. But then after I got through cleaning it up, I told myself, okay, this isn't your day. This doesn't define your day. Things just keep getting better and better throughout the day. And they did. Like, my students made me laugh. I had a good day at work. That did not define what my day was. So tell yourself the things that you need to hear. It gets better and better. It just keeps getting better. My life just keeps getting better. I can't believe how amazing my life is. Your thoughts are shaping your reality, whether you understand that or not. So we're a lot of times unconsciously creating things we don't want. You've got to stay present and keep your thoughts something that is helpful for you, not something that's harming you. And I know you're going to say, well, I can't control my thoughts. You can. It takes practice. It takes work, but you absolutely can control your thoughts. And if you say, I can't, and this is just how it is and it sucks, that's laziness. I'm sorry, but it is. Because I know I used to be a negative person. I used to think poorly about a lot of things. When I started taking an active role in my thinking and shifting the way that I was thinking, my life shifted too. So I'm telling you, you can do it. It's going to take practice. You're going to have to get good at living in the present and stop spacing out or disassociating, but you can do it. And you'd be amazed at what things will come into you when you say things like, let's say you feel lonely and you're by yourself. My tribe is always finding me. My tribe is always finding me. I'm attracting an amazing tribe. Let's say that your finances, money is always finding me. I'm always attracting wealth. Because if you sit there and you worry about it, you're not creating more money for yourself. You're just creating more worry for yourself, and you're creating more anxiety, and it's not helping you. At the very least, if you say those things and you shift your thoughts, you'll at least stop putting yourself in this mental prison where you're miserable. Nobody wants to live like that, and you don't deserve to live like that, and the universe doesn't want you to live like that. So stop doing that to yourself. You're self-sabotaging. Be present. Shift your thoughts. Find activities that you can do that quickly get you out of those thoughts and out of that feelings. And yes, there are things you can do. Go for a walk. Take deep breaths. Do a little yoga. Do a guided meditation. Do some EFT, emotional freedom technique, tapping. There's a lot of things you can do. But sitting there and saying, I can't control this is a lie. We can control things. You might need help, and that's understandable, but it can be controlled. So if you need counseling, if you need coaching, if you need whatever, go do it. You deserve it. You owe yourself enough to say that I deserve to feel happy and I deserve to feel good. If you want to work with me, I do coaching. You can book a session with me. I do a half-hour session for $30 or an hour for $60. That's not that much to spend on yourself when it's going to make you feel better. All right. So I wanted to pull some cards for you today to give you some guidance. Before I do, I want to again remind you that Beauitful Mourning, my guide to life after loss, the story of me losing my mom and my ex-husband my mom to cancer and my ex-husband to suicide a few years ago, is now available on Audiobook. You can get it on Nook, on Apple Books, on Google Play, on Spotify, audiobooks.com. Apparently, it's a lot of other places too. I don't even know. You could just do a Google search for Beauitful Mourning. It's Mourning. And the audiobook, it should come up in several places. I appreciate those of you who've already purchased my book. It really helps me in supporting me in my mission to help others heal. And if you know anyone who might need that, please send them a copy or let them know about it. I really appreciate that. Okay, so I pulled some cards from what deck did I use? It is the Soul Truth deck. So the first card that came out is, what excuses am I making right now? No more waiting. There will never be a good enough time. The time is now. If it's important enough to you, you'll find a way. Today, make a decision and do it even if you don't feel ready. Listen to your heart. You will be led. I love that. Second, am I willing? You are on the edge of something great. Can you feel it? Yes, there is risk, uncertainty, and imperfections ahead. Failure is certain and vulnerability is a requirement. You must be brave and trust yourself more than ever before. You will reach the dream, but you must stretch yourself into a whole new level of belief and willingness in order to move forward with courage. Today's soul action is be brave. Follow your heart's compass and lift the lid on your own dream. Today's mantra, it's possible. Next, how can I infuse more self-love and compassion into my daily life? That is so important. Please start doing this. If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. And that is a quote by Buddha. Choose one self-care action to do today. Set stronger boundaries, meditate and listen to your heart, speak to yourself with compassion, focus on your strengths, say no to something that isn't a soul yes, say yes to something you're afraid of, let go of what you cannot control, stay far away from drama and negativity, ask for help and allow it. Write down 3 things you are grateful for. Yes, please make time for self-care today. What if it was easy? It doesn't have to be hard. Call in the universe, the stars, the angels, and all their powers. Find the solution. Would you take the next step if it were easy? It's time to expect ease. Call in grace and receive guidance. You are supported. List 10 possible ideals for your soul's current calling. Lean into its ease. It's here. You just have to say yes to it. And the last card that came out is, what am I most afraid of losing? As we grow, change, and transform our lives, it requires us to let go of something that was, to make room for what will be. If you were to take that big leap, would you feel scared of losing love, safety, or belonging? What if it was a big fat lie? What if it was impossible to lose any of these things because you have the power to give everything you need to yourself? Name that fear and look at the worst case scenario. Find a solution. Take your power back by being certain of who you are and where you are going. Today's mantra is, I move forward knowing I am powerful beyond measure. I am loved, I am safe, and I belong. Yes, to all those things. You are so deeply loved by the universe, and the universe does not want you to suffer. If you need help working through anything in your life, but anxiety is a big one, need help learning how to let go of the fear and the negativity, book a session with me. I offer coaching packages and I also offer one-on-one sessions. You can book those sessions, so you can go to my website, melissaoatman.com, which the link is in the show notes. You can purchase the session and then email me. My email is also in the show notes, and we'll schedule your session. You can start with one, and if you decide, hey, this really helped and I'd like a package, I'll just put whatever you've already paid towards your package, and we'll finish, getting you to a place where you actually love your life again. It is my mission to help you. You deserve to be the happiest person and to live your absolute best life. So if you're not doing that, please reach out. I also have several online courses that you can purchase that you do on your own and you get to keep forever, like the 10-day intensive self-love course. If you're a people pleaser and you're ready to get rid of that one is on sale right now for $14.99 on my website. And once you get it, it's yours to keep forever. It's 10 lessons that you go through each day, but it doesn't have to take you 10 days. You can take a year if you want to. It's totally up to you. Or I have the Love Your Life course, which gives you tools and tips for how to make your life a little bit better. Each day I give you something new to help you implement into your life so that you're able to get rid of blocks to your abundance, to your happiness, to your joy, all the things that are keeping you stuck. You can find that on my website as well. I hope that you guys have an absolutely amazing and wonderful day. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.